Jenny Kay here from Chatterbox Speech Pathology. So this week we've had a few parents ring and ask, we're really concerned about our child's speech or language skills, but our child's really shy and I don't think it's worthwhile bringing them in. Well, let me tell you, we have pretty much a 7-step process to help those children who might be a little bit shy to come out of their shells. So if you're concerned that your child is too shy for a speech assessment and don't think it's worthwhile, stick around to find out what our 7-step process is so that you can decide whether you want to bring your child in or not. But I'll give you the hot tip. Being shy is not a problem. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do when it comes to your child, I want you to think of 2 things. There's us as the speech therapist, and then there's your child. And we're going to do 2 different things based on that. So the first thing we're going to do is when we meet you and your child, we're going to focus totally on you, mum or dad or grandma, who has ever brought your child in. We're actually going to say, hi there, I'm Jenny, I'm your speech pathologist today. You must be Sally. We're going to look to see at your child. We may not look directly at them. We're going to look at your child's behaviour. Do they cling on to you? Do they hide their head? Do they stick their head under your lap or somewhere where you're just like, oh, get out of the way? And that's going to tell us if your child's shy and is going to need a little bit more support in coming out of their shells to talk to us. So that's the first thing. We're going to focus on you, mum, because we know if you're feeling comfortable with us, then your child is more likely to feel comfortable with us. So, first thing. Second thing, you're going to be really happy. We're not going to force your child to talk to us. That is going to cause more drama than it's worth. So do not stress. Do not get worried. We are not going to force them to talk to us. We obviously would like them to talk to us, but we're not going to force it, because that's not going to help anything long term. So that's the second thing. Third thing, we're going to help your child feel more comfortable. Okay? That's our biggest goal, is to get your child to feel more comfortable. Now, depending on how shy they are, that's going to happen maybe in the first 5 or 10 minutes. Yes or no, you're probably shocked. For some children who are really, really, really shy, it might take most of the first session. For other children, it might take a few sessions. But the most important thing is that they feel comfortable. So that's the third thing we're going to focus on. Now, the next step we're going to focus on is how we're going to do all this. First thing we're going to do, or the fourth thing I should say, can't count, is we're going to focus on your child's interests. Okay? Now, for most children, that's toys. So we might bring out some bubbles. We might blow some bubbles. Okay, because that's fun. It's easy. We're not putting pressure on your child to talk. We might look at their toys that they've brought in, their books, their interest, but we're not going to force them to talk. We might just say, oh, look at Teddy. He's got big eyes. Ah, Teddy's nice. Notice I didn't ask the child to say anything. We're not putting pressure. We're just making them feel comfortable. We're going to decrease our eye contact with your child, because if we're staring at them, it feels a bit weird, a bit creepy, doesn't it? Puts a lot of pressure on them. So we're going to decrease that eye contact, okay? So they're not feeling the pressure. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to play. So I've already said we'd focus on their interests. That might be the first few toys that we do. Second thing though, if we've gone into our therapy room, is we're going to focus on playing. Now, the way we're going to play with them is maybe alongside them first of all, which might be those bubbles. So we're going to blow the bubbles. We blow them. And we might go pop, 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 pop. We might say, look at the bubbles. We might say, Mum, pop the bubbles, depending on what your child's doing. But we're not asking them to talk. We'll blow some more. We might say, Mum, pop the bubbles. And your child might start to come in. So that's alongside them. As they start to come into those bubbles, we start to pop them together. Again, we're not asking them. We're just doing it together. We might change toys. We might get out Mr. Potato Head. And I might do something silly like put a hat on my head. Or I might get my potato head and I might put some shoes. Where the eyes go, which is a bit silly. That might make your child laugh. It's going to make them feel more comfortable. So back to our earlier process, make the child feel comfortable. If we're starting to see that your child's laughing or smiling, looking at the toys and playing with the toys, we might then ask them to follow a simple direction like put the eyes in Mr. Potato Head. I'm not asking them to talk, I'm asking them to do something with their body and their hands. And if they don't do it, doesn't matter. I just keep going. We all keep going until they start to follow those simple directions. Once they start to follow those simple directions, we're starting to get to the top of that hump. And you might find your child will just suddenly come out with some words or a word or two. And that's when we know we've started to hit that hump and we're going to come down that other side. So we'll start to increase our expectations in terms of asking your child to follow a direction. So that might be pointing at pictures, doing something with a toy or manipulating the toy, completing a puzzle, but we're not actually asking them to speak. As they're doing that frequently and constantly, then at that last point, we'll get them to talk. And that might be asking them a question. Okay, so hopefully that helps you guys who are worried about your child who's feeling shy. That's the process we're going to go through. So there's 7 different things we're going to be thinking about. First of all, we're going to talk to you, mum, as the parent. Second thing we're going to do is we're not going to force the child to talk until the very, very end, after we think they're ready for it. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to make them feel comfortable. We're going to make them feel comfortable by following their interests, then playing with toys. That's 5 steps already. When we're playing with toys, first thing we're going to do is we're going to do it alongside your child. Then we're going to get your child involved with the toys. Then we might do some silly things, what we've called sabotage with those toys, so your child laughs. Then, 6th step, we're going to get them to follow a direction. Then we're going to increase their ability to follow those directions. Simple directions first, things that we know your child can have success with. And then, once your child initiates a couple of words, we might start to ask some questions. Very simple questions again. Hopefully that helps you guys and puts you at a little bit more ease. So if you're concerned about your child's speech or language or reading or spelling, don't let shyness hold you back from booking them in. Okay, shyness is not causing your child to have those difficulties, but delaying therapy because they're shy can have huge impacts. We've got to work around who your child is, and we have to change what we need to do so that your child can get success.